to the FanDuel Punch Out. I'm Jason Gilbo, JGilbo11. With me is Russell Clay at Russell J. Clay. Taking a look at the big 15-game slate here and a pretty high-priced pitching night, but there are some decent mid-range options that you can kind of go balance with. So I think that's kind of the way to go. I don't think you're kind of really spending up for that big bat just to pay down elsewhere.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Russell Clay. I'm really happy you're here with us today. The first step is to go lay down in your bed and listen to us talk. And we're gonna get you to...
This is creepy, dude. Stop!
Yes, no, I agree with you. I think in general, the pricing's a little more relaxed here than on DK, so you might be able to fit a little more in here than you thought in general when you first see like all these pitchers on the slate, you know?
Yeah, I think so. And I think you're kind of looking at these guys and there are some big price tag guys and you are going to want to look at them in your lineups, but you can kind of spin down to some guys here in tournaments like a McCullers, a Hamels range and kind of feel like you got some upside there. But as far as top guys, I think Strasburg at 12K is going to be kind of the popular one who you get at a discount from 1,100. That kind of saves you a little bit of cash.
Definitely. Yep. I think you're looking at that. And if you plug him in, you got 2,800 left. So you're one or two punts away from getting a normal lineup again.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at catcher here, in that 2,900 range, there are really three options I have my eye on, and Vogt, Castillo, and Victor Martinez are the three that I'm kind of circling for the slate here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's a solid range. Vote really at 2,900 is a really solid value. So that'd be something I'm looking at. And then a Russell Martin, he actually did something today or last night. So I think we're looking at maybe throwing him in there at 2,600. But in terms of the top options, I think I'm probably avoiding them. I like McCann a decent amount, but not fully, so probably just Victor Martinez at that range.
Yeah, I think so. I like McCann. Obviously he hasn't been great of late, but you look at Pelfrey, 362 over, a lot to lefties. Here, I think I'm kind of going with some of the hot streak guys. Vogt's hit pretty well of late. Desclafani's, not good against lefties either. It's a great ballpark that kind of is equal to Yankee Stadium as far as power to lefties. So I'm kind of rolling with the hot hand. I don't mind McCann as well because I do like the Yankees quite a bit tonight.
Definitely.
So cheaper guys, you can look at a Chris Iannetta. He's hit well against lefties in the past. 2,600, not a bad price tag for him either. So, but I think I'm with you. You can look at a Russell Martin as well. Good ballpark. You look at Gossman. Overall, his career numbers against right-handers, 3.37 WOBA allowed, 1.60 home runs per 9. So there's some upside for a lot of those kind of Toronto bats in the home run department.
For sure.
So anyone else you're looking at there?
Not really. I think I'm kind of just looking to invest big in other positions and not really. Maybe our punt at 2K will come around. Other than that, I'm kind of focusing my efforts on other positions and filling in like catcher, kind of at the end of my lineup with what's left.
Yeah, no, I think so. You got a James McCann at 2,200 if you want to take a punt GPP option against CC. Right-hander McCann's, had some upside games before, and it's just one of those kind of what the hell plays. Let's throw it in James McCann.
Yeah, he is Brian's brother, so that's probably a pretty good indicator that he's good at baseball. So, yeah, I'd say that's a great play.
Are they really brothers? No.
No, absolutely
not. I didn't think so. Because before you've said names, but you usually reference the first name or something.
Oh no, all name relation, baby. We don't discriminate here.
All right, thanks for pulling. I had to just do a quick Google. definitely didn't think that was,
I
but it
mean,
was.
they could very well be related, but just basing
They're
it
not. No, I
on his
googled it. It's
picture.
100% sure they're not brothers.
Okay, good.
But it
Yeah,
was,
good.
you had me. I was like, I knew I was like 90%. Like, okay, they're not brothers, but 10% of me wants to Google this just to make sure, and
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
did.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
the more you know with Russell Clay.
Da-na-na-na.
First base here, and not quite as daunting as far as price tags go, where they're up over the 5K range, like on DraftKings. I think if you're kind of going with the cheaper options, these are much more reasonable. It's a tough call for me, but I think Ortiz still comes in at number one, but Goldie and Rizzo are still kind of really close seconds.
For all you Colts fans out there, I think I might have a nickname for Dante Moncrief. How about Daunting Moncrief? How about that? Dante Daunting Moncrief.
Well,
Ooh.
if people know, I mean, I'm a Colts fan, and the fact that they say daunting quite a bit, I see where you're
Uh,
going with that.
yeah, because he's a daunting presence against the opposing secondaries. I think we're onto something here. Back to first. Encarnacion, 3,700, not bad. Again, I do like making a move here at first. Ortiz is much more reasonable. Still not going to be able to fit him in unless you pay down a little bit, but all around, I'm not as afraid of the top end options here as I was on DK.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they are much more reasonable, and with the consideration to the other pricing, I think you can kind of lock in a top end guy if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Spinning down Mike Napoli at 3,100 against Hector Santiago is very intriguing. I mean, Santiago, big time home run proneness, 1.69 home runs per nine to right handers. Obviously, I mean, you're not a big fan of the ballpark factors out there, but I think at the price tag, he's worth a shot in tournaments.
And it is important to throw out the reminder that Prince Fielder and Ryan Howard are not good anymore. Do not play them ever. Uh,
Oh, they're both
so
hitting dogs tonight now.
yeah, they probably are. But listen, do not play them. They are not good, and they do not get hits or fantasy points anymore. So don't play them. The more you know.
Man, what did they do to you? Well, I know what Prince Fielder did to you because you've
Prince
taken some
Field
shots on him
Prince
earlier in the
Fielder
season.
abused me for about a month.
He's going to turn around today. He's going to turn around today.
And he never did.
No, I think below Logan Moore, or sorry, not Logan Morrison, below Mike Napoli, I don't see a lot of guys that I like, and I don't think you need to really spin down or even think about kind of spinning down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like that call quite a bit. Obviously, Napoli's been streaking, and not literally, but in terms of hitting,
He
um,
has in the past.
I'm sure that. Yeah, I'm sure about that. But 3,100, solid value. And yeah, again, below that, I think you're more just looking to jump into the spot start range for that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Moving on second base here, and you know, so Wednesday night I'm flying in, and I'm off the radar for about 5-6 hours on a plane. I come in this morning, I look at FanDuel. Peralta's at third base, Carpenter's at second base, and Diaz is their only shortstop. And I just was like, what just happened? I mean, now that I've never seen FanDuel so quick to position players accurately based on one night's game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah,
what happened. I mean, we have a Carpenter at second base now, as if we needed any more top end options there.
I know. It's tough between him, Altuve, and Murphy, and it's going to be tough going forward because they're seemingly in play pretty much every night. But again, tonight I don't think I'm going to be touching that crew. I guess I'd rather just jump down to Cano.
Yeah, I like Cano. I think if I was to pay up for over 4K, it would be for Daniel Murphy against Hellickson. I think it's just an easier. Obviously, you look at Altuve and Carpenter. I mean, worse ballparks, a little bit worse matchups. I think Murphy's kind of the guy to kind of target. Doesn't have quite as high price tag as he does on DK. But I'm with you as far as roster constructions goes. I won't find myself with many shares.
Just looking at Daniel Murphy's picture, do you think he enjoyed playing marbles as a child? Like I feel like he was a big marbles guy. Like he was all about he just took everyone's marbles as a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what he's doing now to pitchers. I mean, he goes up and he literally takes their marbles.
Yeah, like he'd shoot it directly in the center every time. I got a strong feeling that we got to get an interview with him at some point soon because
Well, I'll call my
I
Daniel
got
Murphy guys and see if we can get a hold of them for you.
I was gonna just send out the text and I'll do the interview. But I
I don't
just
want to talk to Daniel Murphy.
I'm intrigued. Anyway, uh,
There's that mid range I like quite a bit. Once again, Zobrist. I'm a big fan of the Cubs against Bud Norris. DJ LeMahieu, one of the value bats against Cashner as far as a core standpoint goes. And also Segura at 3K. I think that's where I kind of see myself spinning down to on second base there.
yeah, I think that's a good call. Profar, 3K.
Yeah, Profar, I can get behind. I mean, I can get behind him and Odor. I mean, I was expecting Profar in the other night. He wasn't. I don't know what the deal was, but yeah, I don't mind him at those prices against Iwakuma, who's been up and down this year. And I think price considered, you can kind of take those shots. And same with Starling Castro.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, Castro 2,700, still pretty reduced on here. So
I should have left that to you. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I forgive. You know, we've gone our separate ways. I'm doing pods all by myself now, so you're just out of the rhythm. That's okay.
Yeah, that one day really threw me off. Anyone else down low that you're gonna maybe take a punt option with?
I'm sure someone will pop up, but not right now. As of now, Castro's the lowest I'm going, and I think that's a pretty reasonable flag to plant.
Yeah, no, I agree. Looking at third base here, Nolan Arenado not that extremely priced as far as a big drop off from him and kind of those other top options. And that's where I see is him really above 3,500. It's hard to get behind anyone else but Arenado. I don't mind Donaldson and Bryant if you're kind of rolling them in with Cubs lineups, but I think one-offs Arenado is kind of an easy play.
Yeah, I do too. And I think it's possible with some of these reduced prices. I think you can fit in a few mid 2K guys and then roll with Arenado. So Coors games are back, so it always makes things an adventure, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I don't feel like you necessarily have to go with them. And I'm with you. I think if you're paying down a little bit of pitcher, you can kind of easily snag him in there. I'm not necessarily going to just start trying to jam guys at 2K to just fit them in. I don't think you need to do that on a full slate. So,
get in there!
I feel comfortable with guys like Castellanos and Prado and kind of, attacking them at a different range. Even a Travis Shaw, who's been struggling a little bit of late at 2,700, is intriguing against Duffy there.
You just gave me such a crazy visual there of just someone literally forcing Arenado into a lineup. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the mid-range, I'd rather just go Arenado or pay down. So you're kind of looking at some of the cheaper options here. And I know, so you're totally out on Minnesota. You like Wright, correct? You're a big Red Sox fan.
It's not that, don't give me that. Right? People have not hit well off Wright this year. I mean, his knuckleballs have
I know. Healthy. Yeah, and there's a few vines sort of streaming around YouTube and Twitter right now of just that movement on those pitches is just incredible. So it's tough to keep up with that. Tough to really use splits against him for a positive or negative right now. So yeah, no, I was with you. I was just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of those Minnesota bats. I mean, sure, there's some upside, against some power wise and at lower price tags. But you're probably either a Minnesota fan, or you're just building 32 different lineups tonight, and you just happen to have a twin stack in there.
Yes. So. What about Jung Ho Kang?
I don't mind him. Walker hasn't been that great. Matchup.
I
Yeah,
know.
I'm not scared of Waka. I think Kang's an intriguing play. Fun name to say. You gotta like that. So when you're cheering him on, you fire off a big Chung Ho tweet, and
Royal like trumpets go off every time someone says Jung Ho Kang.
oh yeah, yeah, and like a little like the
Yeah, the little flag pops out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
that absolutely happens. I mean, it is Jung Ho Kang. So,
Moving on to shortstop here, and different story with Trevor Story, 3,400.
oh boy.
Different from DK with a pretty big salary difference. He's not quite priced
Mm.
up there.
Hmm.
Uh, I like him. I still think Lindor is one of my favorites against Santiago, but I think at Story, even if the gets into Coors exposure, he's kind of a decent option there.
Yeah, definitely a decent option there. 3,400. I mean, you can't really get better than that. They just didn't price it up enough for to take Coors into account. So, I mean, that's nice. Obviously Lindor's a nice pivot and a nice play in his own right. But I think you kind of start there. You start with Story, I think.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. He's kind of your main option. I mean, once again, Machado. I mean, against Estrada is intriguing if he's in the lineup. Those appeal process don't go quickly, so I do expect him to be in there. Um,
Hmm.
Spinning down, I mean, Javier Baez has just been absolutely on fire, and looking against Bud Norris, I mean, not a great name against right-handers either. Uh, I just look at that Cubs team. I like them quite a bit. Some of their prices, and Bays is kind of one of the cheaper sub 3K guys that I like.
Yeah. He's a better option than Pettit and Russell. I solemnly admit. So I think if you're looking lower, I think that's the type of player you're looking for at 2,800.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's not a lot lower that you can kind of really get behind. I mean, Darwin Barney's kind of produced a decent fantasy production, but still, I mean, unless you're kind of really trying to fit a top price guy in there, you don't really have to steep low. I really do think that 28 to the 3,100 range is a decent option.
Hold on, I'm gonna type in Darwin Barney, Australia. Is he from Australia? No, he's not. Well, there goes one theory. I figured Darwin, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm not really looking at much beyond that. I
Yeah, he was
still
born
think
in Portland, Oregon, Russell.
that's kind of that's like Australia West. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
No.
saying? Nah, no, not really. Not really. But yeah, no, Baez 2,800. I'm not dealing with the rest of this down here.
No,
That's
no. I
all.
think you kind of look at lineup time and see if anything kind of opens up, and maybe you take a
Yeah,
shot down there if anything.
right.
So, looking at outfield here, and Cargo and Blackman still really aren't priced high enough for me. These Rocky bats aren't that expensive. You still have to pay down a pitcher to get them in, but it's not
Hmm.
really unreasonable to do so. Um, they kind of do take a lot of other plays out. I mean, a Beltron at 42, or you can go Blackman at 41. That's kind of that's an extreme hedge. I think Beltran and those bats are kind of only in play for doing Yankee stack.
Yeah, I'm with you. Again, the 41 and 4,300 for Cargo and Blackman is solid. So that's kind of the direction you're looking there. Um, again, Hellickson, we don't. He's not bad, but he's not good. He's just in that lukewarm, like, like when the shower, when you turn the shower on and like you run out of hot water and it's just like that lukewarm, like, oh, I don't even want to be in here anymore.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Hellickson,
Alex.
man. Yeah,
Yeah, it, it is. Worth doesn't quite have the price tag like he does on DraftKings, to where I feel
yeah.
comfortable taking that shot. So it's a little tougher. I don't mind him, but like I prefer an Ellsbury or a Fowler over him quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So I think with that considered, I think that's something to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
Going lower, I mean, I love Marcelo Zuna at 3,400. Um, Unlike Giancarlo Stanton, he's actually been hitting this year. What's your take on Stanton here at 3,100? Are you going to have a FanDuel shot with him? You ripped him on DK. You ripped him.
That was a balloon losing air and a thumbs down at the same time. That's what I think of that. A balloon with a face on it that goes from a smile to a frown as it lost the air.
You know, FanDuel, it's much more reasonably in play to take a shot at him at that price. You know, DK priced him up quite a bit as if he was hitting over, 300 and hitting 20-plus homers already.
Yes.
Different story here.
Definitely reasonable. But that doesn't make my unreasonable stance. Again, I need to see a little sample size before I go back to him. I just think other players, even in that range, are hitting better than him right now. So until I see some signs of life, YOLO. Nope.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. And it's tough. It is tough to do so. When you do have other guys like Jackie Bradley Jr. hitting well around him, you have Michael Saunders who's hitting well. So I think there are some other guys. And what about Justin Upton for you at 3,100? I mean, arguably in the same boat as Stanton there.
Kind of, but he hasn't hurt me deeply. So I have nothing against Upton right now. I mean, it's a fine punt. But I'm not really looking at it any more than that, though.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, it's GPP only for me at that point.
Right.
Spinning down here a little bit, Franklin Gutierrez at 2,700 is an intriguing play against the lefty Holland there. I don't mind him as kind of a cheaper option. Outside that, I mean, there's not a lot of punt options as far as outfielders go in comparison to DraftKings, but you don't necessarily need them. A Brandon Drury at 2K. 2K is a lot of savings, even if he gets you maybe a hit or two and doesn't do much else.
Yeah,
Nick Lino's not a good lefty.
Right, I think that's a good call. And that's the kind of guys you're looking at, and that can really open things up for the rest of your lineup. So yeah, I'm definitely be firing him away.
Could you imagine if Clayton Kershaw gets scratched tomorrow and these Giants prices of like they're all 2K come to life? I mean, could you imagine?
And you can only play 4, so it'd be like you'd almost have to hedge and do some crazy stuff in tournaments. But yeah, that'd be something else.
Buster Posey is 2,000 in a row.
Yeah. For solid reasons.
Wild.
Yeah.
I don't know whatever FanDuel's doing. I don't know.
It's all over the place, man. I never when I go to open the slates in the morning or to look at the projections, it's like I never have any idea. You always have a semi idea. Like with DK, you're always like, all right, this guy's gonna be super expensive today.
Right. Yeah.
With FanDuel, you're like, you know what? I could be pleasantly surprised today.
And that's what I don't get. I mean, I don't know. The bar cart must go around quite a bit around that office there.
The what?
The bar cart.
The bar cart?
Yeah, I mean, like on Fridays at like 4:30, there's a bar cart that goes around some offices, and you grab a beer.
Bar cart. I thought you said bark cart. I just pictured someone with like, this is hickory, this is maple, and he's like handing out bark.
Yeah, that's you probably need to get some sleep there, Russell. So I think we're gonna hop off here and wrap things up here on the FanDuel Punch Out. You think that's a wise choice?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. So
yes.
That's gonna wrap things up here with the FanDuel Punch Out. Be sure to check out DaveFantasyCafe.com for all our great tools and content.